Anthony Hartwig here with you. We have a Canfield basketball player profile. It is Junior Ben Weaver joining us, number one, for a reason. Ben, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. I mean, this Canfield season has been an absolute ride for you guys. You're officially back-to-back AAC champions. Congratulations on that. Take us through this year. First year
Thank
as an
you.
upperclassman. I'm sure you're asked to be a much bigger leader this year. What's it been like for you?
It's been great, man. I mean, since last year, the whole teams, we've got so much more chemistry now. And now we're all older, we're more strong, and all of us are just better leaders. So we started to come together this year, especially later in the season, big JFK win. And we're just getting ready for tournament time.
You needed that leadership to start. This team started off losing the first two games, and there was something that happened, whether it was in the locker room, in the practice. I don't know what it was exactly. But after that one, it just seemed like you guys won like 9 or 10 in a row against really good teams. We're finding a way in overtime against West Branch, et cetera, et cetera. What was it like to just see the team just make that complete switch and turn it on after a tough start?
Well, I mean, we knew we were a great team the whole time. We knew those were two tough teams. We already knew they were gonna be tough going into it. Unfortunately, we lost them both, but practices picked up. Coaches got on us. We got some of the best coaching staff in Ohio, and we really just turned things around. We picked up practices, and then we knew that we couldn't drop any more games from then on. So
You talked about it a little bit in your first answer, but we brought it up before. As a junior, you have more put on your shoulder this year. You're asked to do more. You're asked to lead more. What has it been like, to kind of get yourself ready for next year, when you're going to be a senior leader?
Well, Tony Russo and Dom Cruz and Sam, they're three of the good seniors on our team. They're really good and they're great leaders too. So they kind of, especially Tony Russo, he kind of just mentors me. I see what he does being a leader, and I try right now to try to be a leader to some of the younger guys because we have a few sophomores that play some varsity. So I try to do what he does to me to them, and it's really just going to help me for next year when me and the other seniors got to just lead the team.
I'll tell you what, the thing about this Canfield team, I would not envy the people that have to make a game plan to defend it because you can attack in so many different ways. You can go down low. You have Dom that can hit from anywhere. Sam can hit from anywhere. Russo can hit from anywhere. I mean, like, just the amount of kids on this team that can hurt you. What's it like to be on an offense like that where, you can be a different guy every night?
Well, it's great because you don't got a lot of pressure on your shoulders to put up 20 a game because, I mean, any given night, any one of the starting five could give you 20. And then even off the bench with Ray and Shauna and Bryce, I mean, they can give you 15 a night too. So there's just a lot less pressure on you. And you know that no matter what game, someone's going to have to step up and everyone just averages out over the season. So it's really nice playing with all these guys.
To have a team like that, there can be no egos on that floor. I mean, you have to have everyone locked into whatever that needs to happen that night. If it needs to be Dom Cruz going off because they're leaving him, great. If it needs to be Sam or it needs to be Russo or it needs to be someone off the bench, but everyone buys into that. Talk about why this team is so good at being able to do that, and what has made it so easy to stay away from the egos.
Well, I mean, we're all good kids off the court, I would say. So, I mean, we all got great parents, and we know. I mean, you can't really be cocky, especially on a team like this. So, I mean, especially our coach Velakovic, he always tells us that we can't have an ego because that could ruin up the whole chemistry. And if we want to be a good team and make it far in this tournament, the only way we can do that is with chemistry. So, we just drop the ego, play together, and we just win basketball games.
No ego on this team, but supreme confidence, especially in your perimeter shooters. What do you think it is that lets them balance that line? Because it is a line. You can be really confident, but you can't step over the line and be egotistical. What is so special about your shooters that helps them do that?
Well, some of them to start off the season weren't shooting great, and with a team like this, we had guys getting in practice 2 hours before. We got guys staying after practice. Everyone gets their shots up, and when they hit a shot, they know they deserve it. If they miss, they know they deserve the spot to be shooting it. And when you got guys like Cruz shooting 40% from three, hitting volleyball
Whew.
line shots. I mean, you got to be confident, but we all know not to get too confident, and that's just what makes us great.
I already talked to Tom Cruise. I told him trying to stop him is Mission Impossible. There's a reason that he's Tom Cruise on the court. Um, let's talk about you inside the paint. Maybe not the perimeter shots from the volleyball line for you, but you get to do work in the box and you get to play above the rim, which also means you have to deal with a lot of physical play from a lot of big teams this year. What's that been like for you?
Well, it's been kind of a change because last year we had 6'7" Jake Schneider, and when he went down with an injury, I knew I was gonna have to be the main big guy on the team. So it kind of shifted my offense a little bit because I got to play a lot more inside because a lot of times it's a mismatch for me. So it's a great opportunity, but defense is the tough part because we end up playing some big teams. I always got to guard that big guy, and it gets physical down there, man. That's it's just how it is, but I don't mind it. I like playing both.
What are some of your game plans when you know you're going up against a real big guy to kind of counter that and to use maybe some things that maybe you have that he doesn't to counter the height that maybe he'll have on you?
Well, if we're going against a really big kid, um, my coaches and I, we all notice it. First thing we do is we just pull me out to the perimeter because I'm pretty confident I can just get by the guy. Because normally, if they're bigger, they're normally slower. But
Mm-hmm.
for me, I think I'm pretty versatile. That I'll take them out to the perimeter. If they don't want to guard me, I'll shoot, and then if they come guard me, I'll just take it to them. So,
We're talking about the chemistry on this team. What are some things off the court that this team does to build such tight knit bonds and to have such tight knit chemistry?
well, we got team dinners every Thursday before a game, and that really brings us, the cheerleaders, the coaches, it brings everyone together. But off the court, I mean, every single person on this team is best friends. So we go out to eat after practices. We're all together in classes and in school, and we're all texting each other all the time. We're all best friends, and I think that's different than a lot of teams because we're all good friends off the court, and then on the court, we know when to have to pick each other up to yell at each other. But at the end of the day, we're all good friends. That really brings us our chemistry together.
Who's the guy that on the team that you think keeps everyone accountable the most? Is that guy that can take that line and say, "Hey, we got to pick you up. We got to get you in the right position." You don't want to say yell, but have a stern talking to you every now and then. Who's the guy that's amped up to do that the most? Do you think?
Hello.
We still got you.
Yeah, sorry, my Wi-Fi cut out real quick. Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, we'll get you. So you're talking about guys that sometimes have to step across that line and keep people accountable and to not yell, but maybe get
Yeah.
someone in line a little bit. What teammates do you think are the most prone to be able to be that guy that's able to do that inside the lines of the basketball court?
For sure, I'm gonna have to go with Tony Russo and Drew Shapiro. Those are our two point guards, and if you mess up, they're not afraid to let you know. But and they'll yell at you, but at the end of the day, we know we're friends. And then if it goes too far, they'll apologize. But Tony and Drew are always making sure everyone's in check, making sure you're in the right position, make sure you're doing what you're doing. So Tony and Drew are great leaders, and they're always keeping everyone in check.
I know your Wi-Fi went out. We're stuck with your hand, but we can hear you pretty good. So we'll keep going, hoping that the video catches up with the audio. But
Is this
as
all right?
we keep going, the next question for you is about your schoolwork, man. We got to ask about what you do in the classroom and how junior year has been because it's that step up, not just on the court but also in the classroom. Teachers start taking things a little bit more seriously when you go into junior year. You're starting to think about college in the future. What has junior year in the classroom been like for you?
It's been good. I've never been the biggest fan of school, but I'm still in I'm in the CCP and AP classes. I'm always taking hard classes, and then but the thing is, I'm always with my friends in my class, so I end up having a good time. But it's definitely been challenging, just like education wise. There's more you have to learn, and the classes just get harder and harder. But it's been good.
I like that you're honest. Like it's not school is not everyone's cup of tea, right? But you keep pushing yourself. You keep putting yourself in hard classes. You keep stay driven in the classroom. What gives you that drive and motivation to keep doing it in things that maybe you really don't want to do?
Well, for me, I've always wanted to play college basketball my whole life, and after talking to a lot of college coaches and going to camps, a lot of the things, unless it's D1, but a lot of times for D2 and D3 schools like that, they're not just looking for a good player, they're looking for a good student in the classroom. So when I'm in class zoning out, I just think about, man, I gotta keep my grades high if I want to get recruited and get these colleges looking at me. So that's really the biggest motivator for me.
What's the favorite subject? What's one that I don't want to say is easy because the classes you take obviously probably aren't ever easy. But what's the one that like comes maybe the most natural to you?
Um, Naturally, I'm probably the best at math. I don't actually like math, but it just comes easier to me. But I'm not a fan of science or history very much, but math definitely comes the easiest.
Are there any teachers that along the way in your career at Canfield that have really guided you and helped you a lot in their class or maybe a different class as well?
Yeah, Mr. Hurdley, he's a football coach on our team. I took his geometry class freshman year, and he was always a good teacher, helping everyone through. And that was a good class to get high school started with for math. He was really helpful.
Let's talk about the basketball atmosphere in the school on both sides. You look at the girls, they're having a great season. They have great athletes. You guys do as well. And it's been like that for the last couple years. What's it like to just be a part of a basketball community in Canfield? You get support on both sides. You have boys, girls, double headers. You get the band, you get the cheerleaders. What's it like to be a part of a school that loves basketball as much as Canfield does?
It's honestly it's great. You couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, at every game we got students showing up. The principals are there, the band's there, all the parents are there, and then there's a lot. We got a lot of pep assemblies and stuff during the school to just get the students rattled up for football and basketball games, and we got cookouts and stuff like that. So everyone just comes together. Everyone loves basketball. It's honestly amazing.
One thing we have to ask before the end of this interview is the coach that you're under is a legend, right? Coach Cullen.
Yeah,
There's a reason they're probably going to name the whole gym after him at some point. There might even be a Coach Cullen statue outside of the gym.
yeah.
When it's all said and done, what's it like to be under him and to see that he comes back to Canfield after, a short retirement and comes back to Canfield because he wants to finish his career at Canfield. What's that been like for you to be under Coach Cullen?
Well, it's been a fantastic experience. He is bar none the smartest basketball guy I've ever met in my life. You could shoot a shot and he'll tell you what angle the ball is at and how many degrees you need to fix it. It's honestly ridiculous, and he's always helped me ever since he's been here as a player individually, tell me what I need to do. And then he loves everyone on the team. He's always trying to better everyone. He'll get on you if you have to, but he's such a good coach, and it's honestly amazing that he came here. This is probably going to be his last year, so I hope we can take him pretty far, maybe state. But it's honestly been amazing. He's a fantastic coach. Couldn't ask for anything better.
What's one like statement or philosophy or thing that is just classic Coach Cullen that is always going to be a staple and a backbone to his coaching?
Oh, that's a good one. Uh, every day in practice, he's got a POE, which is a point of emphasis. So every day he'll give us like a little like one liner of something we need to focus on. But one that he always likes to talk about is probably just man, uh, probably just try to better yourself every day, and whatever you just try to make yourself 1% better every single day. That's probably got to be the main one.
Watching his teams over the years, I thought it might be like defense uh,
Oh yeah,
go
big defense.
and destroy everybody because that's the kind of defense he loves to play. I mean,
Yeah,
whether it be Canfield, his first run when he was at South Ranger, now back at Canfield, and you always know this team's probably going to allow maybe 50 points if they're lucky. Defense is just awesome everywhere he goes. Ben, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to take the spotlight off of yourself for a minute and shine it on your support system, the people in your life that you wouldn't be where you are without. I want you to give thanks to whoever you want to give, and I'm going to give you time to do it.
obviously I got to start with both my parents. I obviously couldn't be here without them. I mean, They gave me everything to get here within training, getting on AAU teams and everything. So them for sure. And then the one other person I would like to thank is my papa. He was my best friend my whole life. He was my biggest fan. He's always been a basketball guy. He actually passed last week, so I'm playing the rest of the season for him.
Ben, we are saddened to hear that. We definitely sorry for your loss, my man. But that's no better motivation for the rest of the season than knowing that,
Hmm.
right? I
Yep.
mean, man, carry on for him. Go all the way to state, buddy. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for joining us today. We appreciate it so much. We wish you the best of luck, and we will talk to you real soon.
Thank you. I appreciate it.